Heavenly Father, we come before you today with grateful hearts, seeking your wisdom, guidance, and peace as we gather to conduct the business of the town of Benson. Before we begin, let's pause for a moment of silence to remember our friend and fellow public servant, Maxine Holly. Thank you for her life, her dedication to this community, and the many ways she faithfully served the people of Benson. May her memory continue to inspire us to serve with kindness, humility, and integrity. Now, Lord, we ask that you surround Maxine's family, friends, and all who loved her with your comfort and strength. Grant them peace that only you can provide. As we conduct the work before us tonight, help us to listen with open minds, speak with respect, and make decisions that reflect wisdom, fairness, and compassion. Keep our focus on what is best for our citizens and remind us that the opportunity to serve is both a privilege and a responsibility. Watch over our first responders, town employees, military members, and all those who serve the community each day. Bless the people of Benson and continue to guide our town in a future filled with hope and unity. We ask these in your holy name. Amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion, we approve the agenda.
All in favor? Aye. Approved. Oh, meeting called to order. Forgot that part. Next is consider approval of workers' compensation and agreement from NCLM. Approve that.
I make a motion that we approve the workers' compensation agreement with the League of Municipalities.
All in favor? Okay, it carries as well. Next, oath of office. We welcome Brandon Bilberry.
Welcome.
Glad you're here. Okay, first off is the junior with the state inspection update on wastewater treatment.
Good evening. Let me see, let me find it real quick. So April 28th, we had a state inspection at the waste treatment facility. You have a copy of, in the agenda, our state inspection. I'm just gonna go over, highlight some of the key factors that they pointed out to us that probably needs to be looked at. Number 4 was on page 3. Let me see. There it is. Whenever I've done the DMRs let's see, in October 25, I made a typo, and that's already been corrected. So I already talked to the state about that and got that fixed. It was, then my next was number 11. Number 11 on page 4. It talks about our total hardness. When we take a nickel sample every week, according to our user permit, since January 2023, a total hardness was never collected. So we talked to the state, said it was never collected since January 2023. No one has caught it. So they're giving us, for moving forward, started in May 2025 or 2026, we started collecting them samples. So we're not liable for any violations because they did not catch it since January 2023. So that moving forward, we started taking them samples, so we're not out of compliance. Number 17 and 16 was the samplers was not in flow proportion. So what flow proportion means is whenever you have so many gallons come through your plant a day, it's supposed to take a sample. Since way before our time, the last state inspection that was done in July 2020. July 2020. It was not in flow proportion, it was in time proportion. So every 30 minutes it took a sample. So right after he left and he pointed this out to me, we fixed it that day. So we're back in compliance there. Number 18 on page 5. This one is from the new headworks that were put in. It was put in in service in September 2025. One of the gates, the state does not understand the function of a gate that was put in design. So I have to work with the Wooten Company and Clearwater. I have Clearwater come into our plant this Friday, to calibrate all the meters and to set the gate where it will not be moved, and we're going to lock it down so it cannot be disturbed. The state was more concerned that if it gets bumped, the gate gets bumped in any way, that the calibration of that meter was not going to be would not be accurate. So we got to find a way to lock it down. I've ordered the parts last week, so I'm just waiting on Clearwater to come calibrate it so we can it will not be moved anymore. So then we go back to item 28 and 29. We talked about the sludge lagoon. It's always been a problem from the day, from way back, whenever they let the sludge lagoon, they took all the aerators out of sludge lagoon, they let it just sit there. So I guess we talked a lot about the vegetation that's in there. And there's really nothing we can do about the vegetation because we're not using it for its proper purpose. So it will always be a problem until we fix that.
It'll always be a problem until we fix it, and how do we fix it?
To fix it, you got to take all of it out. You got to clear it out, and budget-wise, it's not feasible. It's not feasible budget-wise because we don't have the means to keep it going the way it is.
So Junior, with what we're budgeting with the 120 every year, are we making headway toward cleaning it, or are we not taking out enough every year that we're making headway to where we can?
No, because I still waste into it every day.
Right.
So we're supposed to keep the settable solids at a certain area, a certain range, and every morning when we take our samples, we see, that's the only place that the plant can waste to. So even if we clean it out today, I'm still gonna add more stuff in there. And then we have to put, aerators in there, stuff like that, and when we go to phase 3, all that's gonna be taken out when we build a new plant.
So how long ago, it seems like it was probably about 3 years ago, I think we went in and cleared it out, didn't we?
We cleaned it,
A
but
lot longer than that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot longer.
I don't
Yeah,
think we,
and all it is grass. Grass has grown in there. Now, we have great contractors that's out there building the new plant, and they let us borrow their big equipment. And I'm paying my guys on the weekend to use their equipment so they can get some of that vegetation out, whatever they can reach. But it's always going to be a problem.
You said that the only thing that'll take care of it is phase 3.
Yes, phase 3, we will no longer be wasting into there.
Okay, we're in phase 2 right now?
No, we don't even have the money to finish phase 1.
Okay, all right.
so I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, because you understand this
Yes, sir.
100 times better than I do. So the money that we're spending to haul out every
It's just
year,
for
we're
operation.
still putting more waste in than we're hauling out every
Absolutely.
year, and so we're still increasing every year. When we get the septic dump on site, is that not gonna increase the sludge going into there?
No, sir.
No? Okay, all right.
Not septic sludge, but it will create more sludge into our process that we have to. The septic sludge is not going to go into that lagoon or
Okay.
that septic or that sludge station. It's going to go through our process, and then we're going to make more sludge that we have to waste into it. Yeah, it's a yes or no answer there. It'll create more sludge in our.
Is
in
it
our
gonna create
process.
enough income with those projections for us to be able to remove more sludge if we start taking septic waste? I'm just concerned that if we start allowing contractors to come in and start dumping, that's gonna create more sludge, and we
Yes.
already know that's a problem.
That's going to be a problem, yes, sir.
Is there gonna be enough income off of those contractors to be able to increase the amount of sludge we remove every year? You understand where I'm coming from?
Yes, I
Okay,
yes, it will, but we got to get it. I talked to, it was Kinston, they make about $300,000 a year off of there, and they use there for sludge processing.
well, okay, all right.
So, yes,
Okay.
that's a great option, but with everything that's going on right now, we probably, we're so far behind already building that.
So at one point in time, years ago, we were fined because we went over a certain level. Have we still got enough
Yeah,
board?
absolutely, yes. With my guys, it's not, it's full because of the vegetation. Once you take some of that vegetation out, it'll drop about 2 foot. It's just like ice in the cup that makes it look like it's
Okay.
fuller than what it is.
So we just need to remove some solids.
Yes, and I had that company, I had McGill's come out, I have not got their quote yet on what it would cost to clean out all the vegetation out, the first lagoon, and start using the rest of the money that I have left over to remove solids with that $120,000.
Okay.
Now, he did talk about the back lagoon, which is our equalization. So in past years, that top lagoon runs over to the bottom one, right behind it. And it is growed up. It's been growed up since from the first time I worked there, back in 2013, 14. And he asked about it. And we do not have to clean it out. He's not asking for us to clean it out. The state just wants to know, me to come up with a plan to get it out whenever phase 3 opens on our new plant. So it's not a violation. It's just stuff that he found that we can do better.
Very
And
best scenario that you could come up with right off. I mean, 3 years ago, we got $23 million from the state to upgrade some of the things out there.
Yes.
If a grant came up, what kind of grant would it take to bring that plant up to date and do what we really need to do? Increase that plant by 100%, 50%.
Ooh. You got a lot of outdated stuff,
Understand that,
Yeah.
I'm just asking you, 100 million?
No, I don't believe that much, probably 15, 20. Yeah.
Okay,
It's, for that plant, it produces great water. It does. I mean, we have 0 violations on the process of our water. It's just, we just got some outdated stuff that could be done better. Just
okay, well,
for the neglection that plant's had over the years,
Okay.
it does very good, very good. And I'm very, very happy
we're
that,
looking at new businesses
yeah,
that are coming in, and we may have an opportunity at some point in time, if we can supply them, then they can supply this end of the county. And I'm just wondering, if you went to them and said, look, this is a win-win situation. We're gonna be getting more water from both areas, so we've got to treat it, but we have got to do something with it. I'm just trying to get a ballpark, because
Yeah.
I know there's some things in the works to do that. And if you said, hey, it'd be 50 million or 100 million, nobody's gonna
Yeah.
hold your hand to the fire on this. I just want to, when
Well-
somebody asks me
yeah.
that has got maybe the means of getting the money to that project, I would just like to know, hey, it's gonna take probably $75 million to go in there and do it, or 100, or whatever the figure is. I know
Yes.
it's over my head.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I don't know everything. I've been out there. I was out there before you came, and we did have a problem.
Yeah.
And
So-
we've dredged it and
If-
done all kinds of
If we spend that kind of money already doing that, I would love to change that process.
Okay.
Because it's always gonna be a problem.
Okay.
Until we have a steady sludge, removal, it's always gonna be a problem. You clean it out this year, and the next 5 years, all you're doing is dumping back into it, and it's just a revolving door.
And when we're cleaning out that sludge, we're paying somebody to haul it off.
Yes,
So it has to be,
It has to be hauled.
it can't just be dumped in the woods somewhere.
that's, yeah, you can't do that. So,
Okay.
other plants that every plant has some kind of sludge removing system.
Okay.
Every plant. Where I came from was Clayton. We had 2 different ways. It depends how the budget was that year. We had land application, which we take the sludge. We had to build a holding tank. We have the holding tank. We fill up that holding tank with the wasted sludge. That sludge goes to a farmer that puts it on his hay fields. So that's an option. And I have the license for that, if we ever decide to move that direction. The other solution is having having another contractor. You're gonna have to have contractors, because they come out and they do exactly what they're doing now, but they do it in a smaller, more continuous basis. And they keep up with it. You know, when you hold, we have a holding tank that's about 300,000 gallons. We waste into it until we get to a certain point, and we have them come out there and they take it with them.
Okay.
So,
Well,
Smaller batch, just more
then,
continuous.
you came from Clayton.
Yes, sir.
Clayton's in the process of building a new treatment plant.
Yes.
Are they building the same type of treatment plant, or they're building something totally different that they don't have to worry about this?
No, sir. No, sir. Same thing. Every treatment plant has to worry about sludge.
Okay.
Yeah. Sludge comes in, sludge has to go out.
I want to remind everybody that I just got a text, and they said nobody can hear you. So you got to talk to the mic.
Oh, okay.
many moons ago, I used to work with McGill, they used him as a subcontractor. And I know that other towns have got the ability, and I don't know if it's sludge, but they had the ability, and McGill would come and pick up pellets, and they would take that pellets and they would blend it in to create compost.
Yes.
Is that sludge? Is that?
Yeah, that's sludge also.
Is that something that we could explore with McGill or any other contractor? Would they take it?
It's more expensive. You have to buy the equipment to pelletize it.
You've got to buy the equipment.
Yes,
to
you got to buy
pelletize.
you got to buy a dewatering system to get to that point.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay.
But other than that, our inspection went well. The last page says we're all satisfactory. We're good to go for another 5 years for another inspection.
So as far as all the bold stuff I read through that I
Yeah.
didn't understand, that scared me.
No, no.
Item number 18 is the only thing that's outstanding, which is the slide gate.
Yes, yes, and that should be corrected this Friday.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say corrected this Friday. After the state gets a hold of it and everything, I send my letters, then they said it's finalized.
Okay.
But
I got a question. So with all the things that they found, is like the hardness, y'all didn't ever do, so are we updating policies and
yeah,
procedures?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Another thing in that report is that it had to be reapplied for 180 days prior
Yes.
to expire.
I had it to the I had all the information to the Wooten Company. The Wooten Company did not send it in, but they
Okay,
did.
That's what I didn't know if it was us or
No,
the
sir.
Wooten Company.
No, the Wooten Company, but there was an extension filed with the state. That's just not in the paper. We're not in violation for that. No, sir.
I just worried that when it comes another 4 or 5 years to renew
No.
it, people are in different spots.
We had me and the Wooten Company had a meeting with the state because of this, because they felt like they was not going to reach that timeline also. And they said that as long as it is in and signed before the permit was expired, that we can continue working on the expired permit. And I have that. I have all that correspondence on. I can send it to you, but I have all that. So if you know,
If the Wooten Company drops the ball again, you'll know about it.
that's right.
The only thing I worry about is they coming back again and same violation again, and then they say, oh, we're finding you now.
No, I don't see that happening. No, sir. One thing to add, that the last 2020 inspection, there were eight safety violations on that inspection form. We had 0 this year. So
Good job.
I think we're doing good things there, and we just continue to move forward.
Thanks so much.
Yes.
Thank you, Junior.
Question?
Appreciate you.
Yes.
Any more questions, anybody? Okay, thanks, Junior. Next is department reports. Anybody got any questions about department reports?
I've got 2.
Shoot.
Is Derek out there?
Yeah.
Is there an update on the floor? Do we have a time frame on repair for that?
It's repaired.
Is it repaired?
So, they were able to come in Sunday
Okay.
or over the weekend, they did filler work, and they have also re-epoxied it Sunday. So right now we have got our floor finished. Now it's just getting shelving installed, and we'll be rocking and rolling.
Where are we at on the computers? Are we still, last time we talked, we were still waiting, I think, on VC3. Is that correct? Are we still
Yes,
waiting?
we
on-
are still waiting on VC3. We're waiting for the ports to be dropped. They did not want me putting in a switch or anything like that. They wanted actual hardwire to the computer. Last time, I want to say, was it July? Hold on. I want to say they last said it was on their schedule, and they were trying to move it up. It was one day next week. So maybe the 20th or 21st, the guy was supposed to be here, actually running the lines and putting the ports in. Brightspeed was also supposed to be putting our fiber connection in. They were supposed to install last week. I have not seen them on site. They may have been working, but just as soon as that work's done, we'll have our public computers back up and running.
It looks like by your door count, like you're getting good attendance from the kids.
Yes.
Are you seeing any negative effect on the door count at the museum because of or that, is it maintaining about the same?
Museum actually maintained. Based on what I've seen, it's actually trickled up a little bit, but No, there's been no,
No swing.
like, adverse for moving away.
Okay, all right.
Okay, before you leave,
Yes,
I'll
sir.
ask you and Tim. The floor is fixed. Is the problem fixed? Tim?
I'm gonna look back at you on this one.
Better than it was,
I-
than they were originally planning to do. I mean, there's still some minor defects I saw. I think Derek can speak to that, but there's some small little holes and stuff, but they did at least level it out, where originally they weren't even gonna level it out. So we did get them to at least try to level it out as best they could, but like I said, there's still some minor defects in it.
Like
floor?
plumbing or the floor?
What
Which
else
one?
should?
The plumbing is,
What else should have been done when we first went in this building? I know
What?
that should have been done and it wasn't, but are we to a point where y'all are still, sewage is still backing up?
it is, well, on the Independence Day celebration, it was packed. So, and people were using that bathroom, and we never had any issues. The issue seems to be stuff they're flushing down the toilets. When we tried to alleviate that, so stuff's getting caught because it angles. If we had to do it again, we probably should have fixed them all the pipes originally. But where we're at now, I mean, everything seems to be working right, so.
So from the door where they dug up and started, back through the glass doors back your way, that is where some of the problem is right now?
It seemed to be where stuff was getting caught,
Okay.
yeah.
We took care of the library problem. We gotta worry about the Parks and Rec.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, July 4th was the busiest we've been, and we didn't have any problems. So
Okay.
we're hoping that whatever was the problem is fixed, so.
Thank you.
While you're up here, Tim, I just want to say you're on my list too. I didn't see a report for last month, but I just want to say thank you for the July 4th celebration and
Yeah.
all the fundraising that y'all did.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Thank y'all for that. I got one more.
Okay.
You gonna tell me about those cameras, chief? Yeah.
I'm on a listserv with other, chiefs in the state and stuff, and I happen to see an advertisement or whatever you want to call it from a police department. I think it's Shalot, something like
Shalot.
Shalot. They had 15 watch guard in-car camera systems that they were looking to get rid of. Apparently, they moved on to a more up-to-date model. These are, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 years old. So I reached out to them to see if they were in, working condition. They said they were. They didn't, they weren't real careful when they uninstalled them. They ended up cutting the cables as opposed to literally, pulling them out and stuff, which is not surprising because it was probably run through the headliner and they didn't want to take them down. But I have done some research and we can buy new cables and stuff as needed. So right now I'm in conversations with, the Jeep Chrysler place in Clinton. They have an upfit shop there that does installations for police cars and stuff, and I reached out to him to see if they did cameras and stuff. He said he'd need to come look at them to see what pieces and stuff we may need, but he feels like he could probably work with us to get them installed. I did a count a couple days ago. We actually have 13 complete units, and then we have like a couple extra pieces to make up the 15 and stuff. So we have plenty to go around. Initially, I would just probably put 8 into service, and see how they work. And then if they work well, then, we can expand that, but the average cost new is like $8,000, and we got them for nothing. So whatever we spend is gonna be minimal, compared to a new purchase.
I just read that. I just want to say good job, whoever caught that.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of free equipment.
Yeah, now we just gotta figure out how to make them work, but I'm pretty sure we can.
Would they go on the same server cloud as the body cams?
No, unfortunately, WatchGuard is a separate entity from Axon, and they don't communicate. So we'd have to figure out what kind of a hosting solution for that. Yeah, they make everything difficult with technology.
Thank you, Steve. I'm done.
All right, you-
Hey, Ray. Would you like to come up and give us just a little update on where we may be with, some of our studies that we've been asking about?
I'm actually on the agenda tonight.
Oh, Hey, sit back down. No.
All right, so.
All right.
Next on the agenda is the public hearing on the townhome-style apartments request, SUP 01-2026. Tanner.
Mayor, before we get involved in this, I'm gonna ask again if the board would consider recusing me from voting on this due to,
You're refused.
I'm refused?
Yeah, you're refused. We got a quorum.
Finally, finally, so.
Bet y'all were sweating.
I was.
We absolutely were. We absolutely, I was about to send you a nasty gram and see where you were,
I
so.
mean, it's taken 3-4 months to get you here.
That's right. We appreciate your patience.
Thank you.
But I would ask the board to consider voting to recuse me from this
For a direct financial.
due to a
interest,
potential
close
financial.
financial relationship with the applicant.
So both
That
of
would be
them,
a valid reason to recuse. Before you get to making a motion and passing on that, are there any other conflicts of interest, bias, ex parte communications? This is a quasi judicial hearing. Everybody will be sworn in. You have to base your decision on the merits of the matter as presented to you tonight, competent, material, relevant evidence presented to you tonight in the record. So remember, it's kind of like a court proceeding in a way, right? We're back to one of those. Are there any other of those disclosures that need to be disclosed or any other recusals that need to be considered? And I would make a motion on Commissioner Neighbors' recusal request before Mr. Quinn gets his presentation started.
no others. Anybody want to make a motion? All right. Got a motion on the floor that we recuse William Neighbors. So, yeah, all in favor? Okay.
Is there any
Recused.
objection to Commissioner Neighbors remaining at the board's dais at his seat? I mean, generally, that's kind of the way you've handled these in the past, where there's been a recusal. It's been a while since we've had one. If there's no objection, you just can't participate substantively in the conversation. Obviously, you can't vote, right? But you can't participate in it. You're not even sitting here.
And this is for both of them, right?
Right, for both of those special use permit hearings. And there's no objection to that by any party? Okay. That's all I have.
Right.
If we can get started. Any questions about the quasi judicial process? It's been a little while since we've done one of these.
What you do?
Awesome. So we can do a group swearing in, so anyone who would like to speak for or against, we can do it all at once. All right, one last little formality here. I would like to ask the mayor to entertain a motion to enter my staff report and presentation into the record.
Okay. Anybody? Commissioner McLeod makes a motion to enter that into the record. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, it's there.
Thank you very much. This is SUP 01-2026. This request is a special use permit to allow for the construction of single-family attached apartments off West Riddick Street. There is a existing development of similar nature around the corner on South Riles, and another proposal tonight for the corner lot of West Riddick and South Riles Street. The portion of the townhouse project is for a 2-unit townhouse-style apartment with associated site improvements, including sidewalk, landscaping, and a cluster male unit. This proposal meets or exceeds the maximum density of 12 units per acre outlined in the UDO for the R6 district, and the proposal meets or exceeds the minimum square footage required per building. The first floor must be located between 2 and 3 feet above grade. The street would be lined with street trees, and the planning board voted unanimously to positively recommend approval for this project. Here's the site. And here is the proposed site plan. I'll take any questions, and then we can open it up for public comment.
Anybody? Okay, no questions. All right. So the public comment, anybody that wants to come and speak in favor, come on.
My name's Blake Denning, PO Box 338, Benson, North Carolina. Be happy to take any questions you have. It'll be the exact, or this actual duplex will be slightly different due to the lot restrictions, but the facade of it will be exactly the same as what's already been put up. There's 10 of them already there.
No questions.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark. Anyone else like to come speak in favor? Anyone like to come and speak in opposition? 3 times. Anyone like to speak in opposition? Anyone like to come speak in opposition? Okay, hear none, we close the public hearing.
All right, for a special use permit, these 4 findings of fact should be considered when making your decision: that the application will not materially endanger the public health or safety, that the application meets all required specifications and conforms to the standards of land use planning and the town code of ordinances, that the application will not substantially injure the value of adjoining or abutting property, and that the application will not adversely affect the adopted plans and policies of the town. And here are some sample motions to consider with the findings of fact.
Okay, you're needing a motion now.
If that's,
Okay. I move to approve SUP-01-2026. Also, all of it was the same. Yeah.
based off the finding, meeting the criteria of the findings of
I
fact.
would add
Based
that
on
in.
finding of fact.
They're all been met.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carries. Great. Number 2.
All righty, this one will look pretty familiar to you. This is a special use permit for townhome-style apartments along South Ryle Street. This portion is a 6-unit townhouse-style apartment with associated site improvements, including sidewalk, landscaping, and a cluster mail unit. It meets or exceeds the maximum density of 12 units per acre, meets or exceeds the minimum square footage required per building, and the first floor must be located between 2 and 3 feet above grade. The street would be lined with street trees, and the planning board voted unanimously to positively recommend approval for this project. Again, here is the site. Looks familiar, right? And then here are the proposed 6 townhome site plan. I'll take any questions, and then we can open it up for public comment.
Hearing no questions, public hearing time. All in favor? I mean, anybody, who wants to speak in favor, come forward.
Same thing. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone want to come and speak opposed? Opposed? Opposed. Okay, we'll close the public hearing now. Now we need a motion.
I make a motion to approve, SUP-02-2026, and that all, 4 findings of facts have been met.
Motion on the floor from Commissioner McClam. Any discussion? All in favor? Carries. Finally.
Thank y'all.
Next on the agenda, compliance engine for fire inspections by E.G. Burr.
Hello, everyone. My name is E.G. Burr. I'm the town fire inspector. I come to you seeking permission to enter into agreement with Brycer Corporation, also known as the Compliance Engine, for a software program that'll help manage software for the town's fire suppression systems and all the different businesses. Let's see here. Goal tonight is to introduce the Compliance Engine platform, explain current inspection challenges, demonstrate benefits to businesses and the town, improve efficiency and code compliance, request board support for implementation. The Compliance Engine. The Compliance Engine is a cloud-based inspection management system. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to read that. That'd be great. The Compliance Engine tracks fire protection systems, the inspections throughout the town. 1,600 plus contractors in North Carolina use the Compliance Engine or other platforms, stores and reports electronically, provides real-time compliance monitoring for all fire suppression systems, reduces paperwork and administration workload for both business owners and inspectors, supports fire prevention and life safety efforts, and used by fire departments in jurisdictions all around us, including Harnett County, Johnson counties, Garner, Raleigh, and Smithfield. I'll go over the existing process that we use now. Current inspection report management often involves paper inspection reports from contractors, email submissions from owners to the fire inspector, manual record keeping, time-consuming follow-up, sometimes several follow-ups, difficulty tracking overdue inspections, and increased risk of lost records. Inspection staff spends a significant amount of time tracking down paperwork from not only contractors but businesses. How the Compliance Engine works. The contractor performs required inspections, for example, like on sprinkler systems, fire alarms, hood systems. The contractor uploads the report to the Compliance Engine. The fire inspector receives notification. Deficiencies or compliance are identified automatically. Business owners receive notice of corrections that are needed, and the compliance status is tracked electronically, reducing the need for re-inspections. Some of the systems that are tracked, fire alarm systems, sprinkler systems, kitchen hood and suppression systems, fire pumps, standpipes, emergency lighting, special hazard suppression systems, and backflow devices if the town so chooses to use for the water department. The benefits to the businesses. One centralized reporting platform for all their records. Access to certified specialists to assist with reports. Favorable ISO rating points for the fire department's ISO rating, and zero cost for re-inspection uploads. Electronic record retention, no tracking down reports from either the contractor or the business owner. Hands-free compliance tracking, reduced confusion regarding inspection requirements, and improved communication with the fire official. Benefits to the town. Increased efficiency, reduced administrative workload, seamless integration with our record management system that we're already using, improve record management and reduce liability, better compliance monitoring, enhanced reporting capabilities, more effective use of the inspector staff's time, and improved public safety, outcomes, and customer relations. Benefits of public safety and fire prevention. Faster identification of deficiencies, improved maintenance and life safety systems, better compliance with fire code requirements, more accurate recording records during emergencies for the fire department and any other agency, increased accountability for required inspections, stronger relationship between the customer and the inspections department. Financial impact for the town, zero implementation cost, reduced staff time spent processing reports, improved operational efficiency, especially into re-inspections that can get excessive sometimes. For contractors, Inspection companies generally pay submission fees, no financial burden to the town, and the return on investment is a greater efficiency in the reduction of staffing cost. Reporting and accountability. The system provides instant compliance reporting, deficiency tracking, overdue inspection notification, historic records, and performance matrix. This allows the town inspections department to instantly monitor all the protection system and compliance in the entire town. Implementation plan. Meet with the board today, seek approval to enter the agreement in with Brycer. The next few months, do a contractor and business outreach. January 1, 2027, go live with the compliance engine, and then finish up that initial process in December 2028. The expected results: increase in inspection report compliance, reduce burden to the business owner in tracking paperwork, greatly reduce administrative processing time and cost, improve record accuracy, improve tracking the fire protection systems, and strengthen community risk reduction efforts. Recommendations from the fire inspector. Fire inspector recommends adoption of the compliance engine as the town's official fire protection system, inspection management platform. Improves improved efficiency, better compliance monitoring, enhance public safety, reduce administrative burden for the fire inspector and the fire department, and reduce administrative burden for business owners and managers. Any questions or comments?
I have a question. So the current way that you all are, the information is being maintained is paper. Is that correct?
As, if you had a company and you had a sprinkler system that needs to be inspected yearly by an independent contractor. The independent contractor comes in, let's say, August and inspects. That's just a normal year inspection. When I come and inspect you, they'll give you pieces of paper. And at that point, the contractor and I do not have any kind of relationship at all the way it is right now. When I come and inspect you in March, you're required by statute to keep that paper and present it to the fire inspector. You may not know where you put it in August. So the part of the burden that we're facing is, at that point, from a customer service standpoint, I'm just not going to turn your inspection down and say you have a deficiency. We're going to work together as business owner and inspector to find that paperwork, or we're going to start contacting your contractor and see if he can email it to me, or somehow we got to track it down. Because at that point, in February or August or March, when I come and inspect you, if we can't find that paperwork, you're out of compliance and you'd have to do it again. So this software, everything, the contractors would upload everything into that compliance engine. Not only would you have a copy of it, but I immediately get a copy of it, and we track all your fire suppression systems that way.
So the current, because I know how they do it in healthcare, like with the old paper charts. So the old information that we currently have, who, are they going to migrate the current information into the new system so that it will still be where you can pull it up, since it is possibly paper floating around?
I don't know the answer to that question. You mean like the last 3 years inspection,
Right,
things
so
like that?
we still have that information.
If the same contractor's doing that work, yes, that is possible, and I can request that. I'm not sure if they would do it without being a request, but a lot of contractors come and go in town, so if you're using contractor A this year and then next year using contractor B, no, we wouldn't be able to do that. However, I have a lot of those reports because once I get the report, I upload them into our record management system. So I'm going to say I have probably 80% of them, and especially if you're a conscious business owner and you keep that paperwork and you have it ready when I come, I snap a shot of it and upload it into our software. So I don't think it's going to help very much with past inspections. It may a little bit, but that kind of identifies the problem that we're having. We can't track that information, and this software would allow us to track that information.
Going forward.
Going forward, yes, ma'am.
What's the cost?
The cost, there's no cost to the town, there's no cost to the business owner. The contractor, the way that it's set up, the contractor pays for the service in the idea that they get the repair job because they're the contractor. However, there's a $25 cost per system, and what we've learned over the last several weeks is contractors no longer line item that cost anymore. It's already built into their price point. In fact, I talked to 3 contractors today. All 3 contractors that I talked to today do that. There still may be some who do a line item, a charge of $25 per system, but right now, the best I can tell, almost everybody has that fee already built into their price fees or price schedules.
If y'all,
E.g. for the public and also for the board that don't understand it, because I didn't until it was explained to me. Explain to this board what contractor you're talking about, what contractors, what do they do?
Okay.
And you could use Burger King as far as the fire that we had, and this kind of takes care of
Sure. So 2 points, talking about the contractors. If you have a sprinkler system, a fire alarm system, any kind of fire suppression system for a restaurant, anything like that, it has to be inspected, on a regular basis. This software will manage that entire process as far as when it needs to be done, the timing, guided by statute, the contractor will get information, the business owner will get information, so everyone will know when the service work is done. Particularly what he's talking about, a particular restaurant here in town, one of the issues that we're facing, or that I face as inspector, if I inspect a certain restaurant, let's say February or January of 2024, and I come there and they're not in compliance. So I come back in 30 days and they're not in compliance, and I come back a few more times. Then once we get past into June, they're still not in compliance. They finally get in compliance in July or August. When I go back in the next January to inspect, technically by law, they're in compliance. They're going to run out of compliance in February or March, but they're in compliance when I inspect them. What happens is, if they're in compliance when I inspect them, then I won't go back to that business based on our fee schedule and planning until the following January or February. Now, that system's been out of compliance for 11 months. In this particular case, the fire that basically burnt the roof off a restaurant in town, that's what happened. They stretched their re-inspection stuff out a little bit longer, and then when I come back to re-inspect, technically they were in compliance at that particular time, but the further around the calendar they got, the more out of compliance they got, had a buildup of grease in their hood system, and it caught fire and done significant damage to the point that the entire system had to be replaced.
I got a question. So how
Yes.
many contractors use this compliance engine? And what would be, say, like, restaurant, they use a company that does not use that software at all?
Okay. The first question is 1,600 contractors and plus contractors in North Carolina use the compliance engine, and there's other ones. Compliance engine isn't the only one. There's Live, and there's a couple smaller ones. They're all very similar, and they're all similar cost. So 1,600 contractors, which is a lot. As far as the ones who wouldn't use this software, with your entering into the agreement with the compliance engine, that would be required. As the fire inspector, As the fire inspector, I can mandate that the system is being used, and that it has to be used by everybody. And that would be part of the initial time spent in like September, October timeframe notifying contractors. I actually have been preparing for this moment for a long time. I already have all their contact information. I have all the products that they use, that they service. It's just a matter of me making a phone call or sending an email, basically once we're allowed to enter the agreement with Brycer.
So
Okay,
just
in
to-
Benson and in the ETJ that you handle, how many do you handle right now?
It's gonna be right around 50 based on all the systems, because they count sprinkler system, fire alarm systems, any hood systems, any kind of fire suppression systems. And it also does a lot more, but we're gonna start off baby steps here and implement the system. And then, I mean, it does emergency lights, fire extinguishers, things like that. But fire extinguishers are very difficult just because there's such ebb and flow and businesses coming and going and changing names and things like that. So that's a difficult ask.
Just to bring a little history into this and bring everybody up to speed. If y'all don't remember, we brought this before it was brought before the board by EG about 5 or 6 years ago for this. At that point in time, we did not move forward with it because we received a lot of concern from a restaurant owner in town as well as also a fire alarm contractor in town. EG and I talked about this today. I'll go ahead and tell you, I reached out to the same restaurant owner. This was pretty new, I think, back then, and I think a lot of people were like, what is this? And now, even talking to the fire alarm contractor, the same one, I talked with him today, and he is using it in Raleigh and everywhere else now. He said, yeah, I've had to conform, right? And so they're using it. From what EG's told me, he thinks there's one restaurant owner in town, and tell me if I'm wrong, that currently cleans their own hood system without a contractor. And so if they chose to do that, which is allowed by code, if they choose to do that, then that restaurant owner would be required to use this system and go in as the owner and upload when they've done it.
Yes.
And the fee for that is $25. But all of the people that have contractors or vendors, I called one today, they are already including that $25 fee in their estimates when they bid for the job. So if you've got a contractor, it's included in the estimate when they bid, but if you choose to do it by yourself, then there would be a $25 fee for you to upload the documents yourself. And that would, that's twice a year, right?
Yes, sir.
So
That's
it's every
twice a
6
year,
months
yes.
for a hood.
My only issue with it being a contractor licensee of the state myself is something that's being enforced.
Yeah,
You already hold the license.
yeah, right, yeah.
So, and there's something I want to add about the call. So, over the course of 3 years, I've gone back 3 years through the inspections and stuff based on late fees and things like that. Every business except for 2 is going to save money at this. And how they're going to save money is on reinspection fees. If ABC Restaurant's not compliant, in fact, we have one right now, it's just, I'm not gonna call their name out and blast them all over the world here, but, a restaurant that wasn't compliant in January, February, March, April, and it got to the point where I strenuously, I mean, I had to start looking into the power of the fire inspector to get compliance, and finally got compliance. With the fees that he's gonna get, he's getting $75 a month charge every month that I come there. Because it's when I get there, the software, it initiates an inspection. Now, it's simple. I can look on this software and see that it is or isn't done, and I can make a phone call. That doesn't initiate an inspection, and the business owners will not incur a fee for me making a phone call. But if I go there and initiate an inspection, it's just how it works. It's automatically going to produce another inspection, and if it's not compliant, they get charged. So over the course of time, it's cheaper to use the compliance engine to track the software. Certainly in a customer service area, the way that we do things in Benson, we offer, from an inspector standpoint, we offer customer service to the business owners at Benson that's unmatched anywhere that I've seen. We do a lot of things, a lot of extra things to make sure that we get compliance, but we do it politely and we do it professionally, and we do it, honestly, in their best interest.
Okay. So, any more questions? All right, is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve, this new, fire inspections compliance engine, program.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Okay, carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Next is consider approval of task order 15 for Wooten for Vulcan Elements Industrial User Permit with Junior.
Hello again. I'm here to consider approval for task order number 15 for the Wooten Company to help us with our industrial user permit for Vulcan. Vulcan is, right now, currently they are working on the IUP, the industrial user permit. So we have no one on our end to help us. They're building their own permit. We cannot allow that. That's why I contacted the Wooten Company to come and help us build that permit for them. It's just how it was. Was not involved in that. Now that I am involved, I believe it's not in the best interest of the town to have Vulcan work on their own permit. And that's where the task order 15 is from the Wooten Company. They will write the user permit for us. They're very good. They wrote the user permit for Magnera for us. It works out pretty good. They already know our limits. They already have our headworks analysis. It's just easy for them to do it. And us, to tell you the truth, I'm not smart enough to do it myself.
What kind of cost we looking at that?
It's $15,000. But I believe, yes, it's $15,000.
Okay.
Have we got any way of asking for assistance from anybody from the county or from Electus or somebody to try to find some money for, because again, we love that Vulcan's here, but it kind of got dumped in our lap, and they're saying, here, you pick up the pieces, and they're not really offering a whole lot of funding to help with that.
Yeah.
And I think there could be some money available. That's why I was asking that question. I mean, it's, if you had plenty of money, it would be easy to say, yeah,
That's
we've
right.
got to do it. But in the little time that I have been involved with them, they're flying by the seat of their pants. They're spending a lot of money. They've got 600 employees out there, 24/7 right
That's
now
right.
operating. And they came in to do some things, and you know, they put their own concrete plant in, and they didn't put the runoff in right, so the county still hadn't given them a permit to operate that. These things, we're just one of few. You're exactly right, that I think that if we did this, they may even want to help with the cost of this. But
Yeah, that's something we can,
Yeah, we can definitely look into, spreading the cost of the financial burden for it, but even if we are unsuccessful in that, I do think with Junior's guidance that it would be important for us to move forward with this either way.
I think so too.
yes.
Yeah, we need some control over
That's
that.
right, that's right, because we're already limited with our allocations to give out.
Right.
And we're very limited already, and we don't,
there's so much information that's not given, we don't know. We don't know what they're gonna give, they're gonna send in that stream of wastewater to the plant.
When
And-
you say we're limited, is there any data or numbers that you can get us to show us how limited we are? As we're looking at more requests for growth, that would, I mean, I know when we, at one point in time, we were at 80%, you know.
Yes,
and
yes.
And we got fined when we went over 80%. This
Yes.
was years ago after a natural disaster storm. But I'm just trying to say, where are we at percentage-wise right now on what we can hold versus what they allow?
Not off the top of my head. I don't think, we have more issue with, low-level metals. That's gonna be our issue, because they're more, discharging, the magnet stuff is gonna be, the zinc, the copper, lead, that kind of material, that kind of pollutant.
Okay, all right.
So we're very limited. Well, the Wooten Company, I do say they do a great job. They do our PAR, per annual report. Matter of fact, I just got a letter from the state saying that we're in compliance from the last PAR they did for us. I mean, it's worth every penny. It is. They're a great company to work with. I have nothing negative to say about them.
Well, I know 15,000 is not a drop in the bucket.
Yep.
But it is a drop in the bucket when you turn around and get fined 50,000 for something because we didn't do it.
That's right. That's right. And that's the thing, when I hand everything to Wooten, I tell you what I do with Magnera. Every month that I get their DMRs, their monthly report, I send it to the Wooten Company. The Wooten Company analyzes it. And that's why, if y'all saw the newspaper and the website, I had to put them on a significant noncompliance. The state mandated me to do that, or not they'll hold us reliable. That's a $25,000 fine. Just if I do not hold them in compliance, they hold us in compliance. So, and that's why, if we don't have, if their permit, they write their permit, says they're allocated 50 milligrams per liter, and I only have 25 milligrams per liter to give them, I'm in noncompliance. So,
And so just to reiterate, in the limited amount of time that we do have to make this work, I'll work with Junior to see if we can find sources of funding for this. But again, if we can't, I still think this would be, this is of critical importance.
But we need to vote on it regardless of whether we get funding or not, right?
And did they give us a price of 15,000 for it?
It's in there.
I tell you the truth, I've been,
It's in there. Estimate comes.
yes,
Hourly, but estimate. Is the estimate not to exceed 15,000?
It's an estimate, though.
yes. So whenever I done this, we had a different leader here. I was told to go ahead and do it, get them involved. So they've been working on it for us. When I brought it to get it paid for, that's when I was told it actually has to go through the board, the task order. I did not know that. I went to my superior, and they said they was going to handle it, and never got done. That's why I'm here today.
But as the director, you're not gonna come back next month and say that it costs 25,000. You're gonna hold them to the estimate.
I'm going to hold them to the estimate, yes.
You will hold them to the estimate.
Correct,
below, right?
absolutely.
All right,
Okay.
very good. We'll try to find you the money.
Yeah.
I think we need to go ahead and do it.
I make the motion that we approve.
There's a motion. Any discussion more? All in favor? Opposed?
I'm gonna hijack for a minute, Junior, while you're on the phone with Alexis. Have you got any update on the other money for the water line for Vulcan?
I don't have an update for you right now.
Okay, all right. Oh, Ray's, oh,
Raise
I'm
man.
sorry, Ray, I keep jumping ahead to water. I apologize.
We'll get to you in a minute.
And next is about truck 93.
Yes, July 8th, we have a truck 93. It's a 2019 F-250 with a service body. I inherited that truck when I got hired. I had one truck at the treatment plant. That truck was in Public Works. I asked for it. It wasn't in use. I got it. It has electrical issues. July 8th, one of my workers, Adam Woodall, was on his way back from filling up the tanks of fuel, because we have tanks, fuel tanks in the back. And he said he heard a loud pop, and it started smoking inside the truck, and it smelled like electrical fire. We told him to park it. I mean, we had 45 gallons of diesel fuel in the back of it and 50 gallons of gasoline in the back of it. So we parked it away. We didn't see nothing. We didn't call nobody. It just smelled like it was burnt. When he turned the key off and we tried to turn it on again, it is dead. It doesn't do anything. It's I looked at the history of this truck through the old not through our public works superintendent. He said that they had sent this truck to one of the local shops here, and they requested it needed a wiring harness that was going to cost close to $8,000 to fix. He said, or he can bypass some stuff to it, and so that's what they decided to do. This truck, this is years ago. I inherited that problem now. Now it's sitting in my yard. It's sitting in the yard at the waste treatment plant, dead.
Has it still got the gas and diesel?
No, we took that out. No.
Has anybody looked at it to see if it's the same issue?
No, just because.
I mean, it's only 7 years old and it's got 52,000
Yes, I
miles on it.
understand, but the old employee that used to drive that truck, trying to be nice here, wired it for lights and pumps and stuff like that. It's in my opinion, it's not safe for my guys to drive. I would not have my guys out on the road with it. It's a liability. It is a liability. And to tell you the truth, we can't have it on the road. My question is just to surplus it. We got to get it out of here.
You feel comfortable selling it to another municipality?
No, not really, but
I'm just
Have you got anything else sitting around that we're not using?
I borrowed a truck from Public Works. Jeremy let me borrow a truck from Public Works, since he's not fully staffed.
Okay.
He's not fully staffed, so he was able to let us
So
borrow
you're
a truck.
asking to get rid of this, but at this point, we're not talking about purchasing anything right now, right? We're just getting rid of it for right
Just
now.
for right now, and it might become, once he gets fully staffed, he's gonna want that truck back.
Yeah.
Not tonight.
Yeah,
Could take it on even days, he could take it on odd days.
yeah. So here's the other question about this. I know what, if we do replace this truck, what route do we want to go? Do we want to purchase the truck, or we still leasing the truck? I know there was, they done both.
I think we're gonna have to look at the numbers on that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not a fan of long-term leasing.
me either. I mean, we still got to do
But
the
we're still
services.
on anything we do above a certain amount, we've got to get approved by the state, so.
And so this is part of the fleet management, this particular truck?
No,
No.
we own this truck.
We do, okay.
Yeah, I wish we didn't own it, but wish it was.
How much
Lease.
insurance don't?
Well, that's why we're not driving it. That's just a discussion that needs to be brought up.
So do we need a motion on that?
I don't know enough to make a motion either to put it up for salvage or have it checked out or whatever.
What would
I
it-
understand.
Is it a gas
I
engine or
understand.
diesel
I'm not
engine?
gonna drive
It's gas.
the thing, it full of gas
Four-wheel
and
drive?
diesel fuel and it's smoking.
Yeah.
Would it be, I mean, I don't know what a diagnostic test from a local, I mean, would it be worth having it looked at just so we could say, okay, we could fix it for X, or then we could get rid of it and then we could make it?
My biggest concern is 3 years ago, it needed a wire harness.
Right.
You know, and the company that we took it to bypass the fuel management system on it, and it has a makeshift relay underneath the hood. I've had this truck towed twice already since I've been here, and I started here in August of 2024. It's a problem child.
Junior, is it fair to say it's worth less than $30,000
Yeah,
as it is right now?
yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, that's the threshold your manager has to surplus things if it really is just in as bad a shape as you're talking about. I don't know, maybe just something to consider. You might want to have a test done on it, see if it is indeed at that point, and then you don't really have to bring it back up in here unless y'all just want to, because you have, the manager has that authority. He can just try to get whatever he can get for it.
I could make a better decision if we did something like that than I can now. I know you're going back 3 years. We can go back 3 years and we could tell you, yeah, go out and buy a new one.
Yeah.
Or we'll get you one. We're not doing that no more.
Yeah,
We've got to find out what we got.
I like the idea of giving it to Tanner and tell him to look into it and make the decision. I mean, because I've not seen the truck.
No,
I mean,
I
that's,
just mean,
that's why we bring these things.
yeah,
Yeah.
if indeed it is, then you don't have to go back to another district. Y'all, they could administratively just kind of summarily handle that. You'll have to approve the next one, though.
that's right. Tell Jeremy to carpool for right now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's where we're at with that. I mean, it's not, to me, it's not worth fixing. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Junior.
Thank you, Junior.
Next, Tanner on valet collection service.
Alrighty, so this is just a preliminary presentation for our regular session next week, so that you have this information and can think about it and come back ready for public comment and voting next week. So, and also you'll have a special treat because Mark is going to come in and present this text amendment to you next week, since he is the one who initiated it and wrote it. But otherwise, this proposed text amendment would adjust our language in the Code of Ordinances to better align with our policy and trash service contractor policy. So this amendment includes inclusive language and clarifies the allowable prerequisites to qualify for valet service. So currently, the town policy offers valet service free of charge to those who are unable to move their service containers to the curb for pickup due to a handicap, infirmity, disability, specific limitation. This proposed text amendment would include the language or over the age of 65 upon the guidance of the board from our last meeting. Furthermore, looking through here, it kind of just reiterates that language to include that language for residents over 65. It also includes language for whether that disability or limitation is permanent or temporary, and it also clarifies that residents eligible for the valet collection service who have more than one property have to designate their primary residence so that it's not being used on multiple properties. Additionally, the text amendment removes the words handicapped individuals from the ordinance due to that phrase being outdated and is sometimes considered offensive, disempowering, and condescending to persons with disabilities. The text amendment removes that language as a subsection and replaces it with a simple-to-understand service name of valet collection service. The U.S. Department of Transportation has updated their signage, eliminating the phrase handicap parking and replaced it with reserved parking, accompanied by the international symbol of accessibility. We have also included the requirements for residents who own multiple properties to declare their primary residence. I'll take any questions, but again, it's not, this is not for a vote tonight. This is just kind of giving you the preliminary context of the text amendment, so you have time over this next week until next Thursday to think about the language, things you'd like to see add, and be ready for voting next week.
To make these changes, they're going to charge us any different?
No, sir. So the over 65 is already included in the trash service contract. It's just not iterated in our town policy.
Great.
Thank you for making the changes to you and Mark. Appreciate that.
I'll relay it to him if he's not watching.
So, could you flip back to go to the previous screen?
Sure.
So they need a note from the healthcare provider. Shall be inclusive presented to the satisfied evidence of the family. Okay, so basically, they just need their healthcare provider to pretty much say they are disabled.
Yeah, so kind of the context of how this text amendment even came about is because we were auditing the valet collection service for those who qualified and those who didn't qualify. There were several people on it who didn't qualify to the current policy, but essentially if you qualify using a disability, you would need the doctor's note, whether it's permanent or temporary. Otherwise, now with this language of over the age of 65, you can verify in person with an ID sort of thing. So it's just providing that level of accountability to make sure we're providing the services to those who qualify for it.
This is too much in the weeds, but what if the one person is over 65 and the other person in the house is under 65?
As long as, if the stuff's in the person's name that's over 65, they get it.
That's correct. That's a great way to put it. Thank you very much.
Now, if the person under the 65, if it's in their name,
Yeah, I
they
got
don't
you.
get it.
I would say that's kind of like if somebody with a handicap placard parked in a handicap spot, but then 4 other people were in the car were also not. then
Right.
That's still legal.
Good deal.
Any other questions?
Downtown overlay.
So all of the people that received letters, that's mute point right now until we get this corrected, right?
Yes, so the point of the letters was because those were the people who did not have either a doctor's note or a driver's license or something like that on file. So the intent of all of these letters were to bring those outstanding people into compliance. So those who have received a letter, if they have come into the office with a doctor's note or have verified that they're over the age of 65, even before this text amendment passes, the assumption is that because this kind of started with your blessing that it's going to pass, we've kind of given that grace period in the meantime.
All right,
So.
perfect. Thank you.
All right, this is a real fun one here. Again, this is no public hearing for this one. I'm happy to take any questions, but this is just kind of a preliminary glance at this proposal that will be coming next week for public hearing and for voting. This is the Downtown Overlay District. Big shout out to our planning board and stakeholders and everyone who has been coming to, gosh, at least 6 months worth of planning board meetings where we've been discussing this, and it finally got voted as recommended by the planning board, so we are ready to present it to you tonight. So this first slide shows the proposed geographic limits of what would be the Downtown Overlay District. All right, and bear with me, there is a lot of words in here. I'll try to stop at some places so we can go through it. You can ask any questions you have about it, but we'll try to get through it. So the purpose of the Downtown Overlay District is to promote economic vitality through compatible infill, adaptive reuse and mixed uses, enhance pedestrian experience and street life, encourage a range of compatible uses, and establish a social district that complies with the North Carolina general statutes. This is a comprehensive list of permitted uses that would be allowed in this Downtown Overlay District. You'll notice after the kind of generalization of what the use is an LBCS and then a number. LBCS is the land-based classification system. It is set through the American Planning Association as a way to kind of take the objectivity out of deciding what uses are which, so it gives us planners a way to objectively determine which uses are which, so that if someone comes in and wants to put one of these businesses in the Downtown Overlay District, we can objectively decide if that qualifies as one of these businesses. So you can see here in commercial and retail, that includes retail shops and boutiques, restaurants, coffee shops, grocery stores, and personal services. Personal services would include things like hair salons, nail salons, those sorts of things. Office and employment, so professional and administrative offices, that would include things like law offices, surveyors, real estate, medical and dental offices that are non-hospital. That includes things like dentists, of course, like family care. Under residential, you have upper story residential units, so that is mixed use, and live-work units. Under civic, cultural, and institutional, we have government offices, libraries, museums, and galleries. And then under lodging and entertainment, you have bed and breakfast, boutique inns, hotels, theaters, and performance venues.
Tanner,
Sir?
can I stop you?
Sure.
Can you define to me what a live-work unit is? I know we've got upstairs residential above some of our two-story buildings downtown. Does that mean, I guess define that for me, so if somebody were to come to apply that had a one-story building in downtown, and they say, I'm gonna live here, but I wanna put an office in the corner, is that what that means?
So a live-work unit is really, really similar to a traditional mixed-use unit. It's just with a live-work unit, it's the same owner occupies both. Would be the business downstairs and the dwelling upstairs.
But we wouldn't have residential on downtown.
Not on the ground floor.
Not on the ground floor,
No,
that's
sir.
what I wanted to define that, okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
Perfect. Next, we have the special use permit options. So under commercial and retail, this would include breweries, brew pubs, and bars. And under lodging and entertainment, you have indoor recreation. These are some LBCS codes that includes things like a pool hall or an arcade, axe throwing, those sorts of things there. And then civic, social, and fraternal organizations, again, defined by the LBCS code. So just to reiterate here, this is a good stopping point. This is a comprehensive list of permitted uses. Anything not on either of these lists is not permitted in this downtown overlay district. So the comprehensive list of permitted uses by right, meaning that our department can approve it administratively, and then special use permits, which would have to go through the planning board and then ultimately to you all for approval of the special use. Any questions?
So give me some examples of what would and what would not be a civic, a social, and a fraternal organization.
So the Chamber of Commerce, for example, would qualify under that.
Okay. Would any nonprofit qualify under that?
Not necessarily. It depends if they fall under a different LBCS code than that LBCS code that is listed there.
Okay.
Just to follow up on it, the designation of a nonprofit really wouldn't have,
Okay.
tell me if I'm wrong here, Tanner, but the fact that they're a nonprofit isn't really the dispositive thing,
No.
right? It's the use.
It's the use,
activity,
correct, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Typically civic, social, and fraternal organizations do that,
Right.
but they don't necessarily run with each other. Good question, though. All right, this one is very small, so I'm sorry if you can't see it on the screen, but I will go through this section. Architectural standards. All right, so we're talking about how the outside of the buildings in this overlay district are intended to look. So exterior building facades that are in view from an adjoining public street shall include one or more of the following elements: brick, stucco, sandstone, or other native stone. Use of concrete blocks, smooth face tilt-up concrete panels, vinyl or prefabricated steel panels shall be avoided. We go on to talk about how to determine if the facade is required to conform to those standards, how side yards are interpreted for that. 5.1.3, you see, due to a varying degree of existing architectural styles along our downtown overlay district, the Downtown Overlay District Board shall be authorized to allow the use of an exterior building material that does not conform to the standards of the section if it can be clearly determined that the preponderance of existing structures adjoining the same public street in the vicinity of the proposed development include the same alternative exterior material, and that the requested alternative does not include concrete block, smooth face tilt-up concrete panels, or prefabricated steel panels. 5.1.4, facade colors shall consist of low reflectance, subtle, neutral, or earth tone colors. Bright colors shall be limited to use as accent elements such as doors, window frames, and architectural details. Use of neon tubing or trim of fluorescent colors is prohibited. In no case shall the accent colors exceed 25% of the total floor area of a single side of a facade. So I'll stop on that one for a little bit.
Me again.
Okay.
So in the word, obviously, we know there's some structures inside that overlay district that are currently vinyl sided. And it says that it's gonna be up to the board on whether or not to enforce this or not. is this board gonna be made up by appointees of this board, just like all of our other boards, or where does the DOD board come from?
This current proposal is the Benson Art Board would serve as the Downtown Overlay District
The
Board.
Benson Art Board would serve as the overlay district board.
Yep. And so your comment on existing structures, so any existing structures in the Downtown Overlay District would be grandfathered in if you decide to move forward with the Downtown Overlay District. If there is a change of use, an expansion, a major remodel, or something of that nature, then that building would have to then come into compliance with these architectural standards.
Would there be a number of days for that, kind of like a non-conforming use where they have 180 days to the non-conforming? Or is it if the thing burns and then insurance comes back and says we'll put new vinyl on the side of the building, you just say you had an event and it's not allowed? Is there a percentage or a days?
So the UDO and other places goes into detail about if an existing non-conforming structure is burned down, so it's not necessarily addressed in this.
Okay.
But generally, as long as that use continues, it doesn't have a major change. They keep that grandfathered in, but if they change, what we're wanting to do is bring these non-conforming buildings into compliance.
Okay, all right. So, just one more, so change of use, does that include change of owner?
That does not.
Okay, all right. Just change of
Nonconformities
use.
run with the land,
Okay,
not with
all
the
right.
owner.
I just wanna make sure, because, okay,
Yep. Good questions.
all right.
If an entrance to the building is visible from a public street, the entrance shall feature at least one of the following design elements: a canopy, portico, arcade, arch, or wing wall. To the greatest extent possible, mechanical appurtenances and equipment should be located within the structure. Heating and air conditioning equipment should be screened from view from the adjoining public street, and to the best of ability be located or relocated to the roof of the building. Screening materials shall be finished to match the colors of the adjacent building exterior. All right, moving on to 5.2. So general maintenance, no evidence of vacancy. All structural and decorative elements of any building or signage in the downtown overlay district shall be kept in a neat and maintained condition and shall not exhibit any evidence of vacancy or disrepair. Repair and maintenance of roofs. Roofs shall be maintained in a leak-proof and full repaired condition as to not degrade either the property in question or adjacent properties. Windows in the downtown overlay district, to include all upper story and side street windows, may only be boarded up for a maximum of 30 days and only when damaged or being replaced. Broken glass must be repaired within 30 days. Barred windows and doors are prohibited. Opaque windows or door coverings are prohibited except during construction. I'll pause there. Any questions? Moving on. Utility areas and mechanical equipment shall be situated so they do not detract from the aesthetic appeal of the district. Exterior trash and storage areas, service yards, loading areas, and transformers shall be screened from view with brick, wood, or vinyl fencing or evergreen landscaping to the greatest extent possible. Mechanical equipment shall be situated on rooftops and screened from view. Outdoor display, use, or storage of materials associated with manufacturing, processing, repair, or storage is prohibited, including wooden pallets. Streetscape elements. Streetscape elements, in addition to those required elsewhere in this ordinance, are encouraged. Planter boxes, benches, bike racks, sculptures, etc., are permitted in the right-of-way areas so long as the inclusion of these elements leaves no less than 5 foot of uninterrupted space on the sidewalk. Certain design elements, like street trees, may be replaced with a mixture of these streetscape elements with the approval of the Downtown Overlay District Board. When making improvements to the streetscape, owners are required to match the existing style elements of the improvements nearby. I'll pause there to kind of just elaborate on that. That's so if someone elects to do one of these streetscape elements somewhere on Main Street, for example, and then 5 doors down, someone else elects to do it, they have to kind of match those styles so we don't have kind of a hodgepodge of too much of a varying degree of those streetscape elements. All right, signs, really exciting stuff, I know. Bear with me, guys. So the maximum allowable number of wall signs in the overlay district shall be 1 per frontage. If a building has multiple frontages, the maximum number under any circumstances is 2 wall signs. The maximum square footage per wall sign shall be determined as 0.5 square feet per linear foot of frontage, but in no case shall exceed 48 square feet. In the case that one building shall host more than one tenancy requesting a sign, the above referenced maximum square footage shall still apply, and the tenants must share the allowable square footage. Wall signs shall not extend above the vertical wall. Wall signs exceeding these limits may be considered in both number and size pending approval of the Board of Commissioners for public art installations. These installations may not include commercial copy and are intended for the public enjoyment of citizens. Canopy signs may be substituted for an allowable wall sign pending they meet the following criteria. They shall have a maximum of 16 square feet and may not exceed 12 inches in height. Projecting signs may not exceed 16 square feet, and no portion of a projecting sign may extend more than 5 feet from the building wall. Ground signs are not permitted in the downtown overlay district. In the case that a ground sign exists prior to the adoption of this ordinance, replacement or maintenance of said sign is permissible as long as the height and square footage of the sign remain the same or reduce. In no case shall the ground sign be located in any right-of-way or sight distance triangle. Window signs shall be permitted as long as the window signs do not exceed 25% of the ground floor glass area. No animated or flashing signs shall be permitted. Signs containing changeable copy, internal illumination, or indirect illumination shall be permitted as long as they meet the other sign requirements. The illumination of signs should be designed in a way to not direct light towards the right-of-way. Signs with exposed bulbs or neons shall be permitted in the downtown overlay district. I'll pause there.
Does that include the A-frame signs that are on the sidewalks? That's not included in this?
Those are permitted. Those are, elsewhere in the ordinance, those are considered exempt signs.
Okay, all
Yes,
right,
sir.
perfect.
All right. Social district. Social district is authorized pursuant to North Carolina general statutes, these sections, and allowing to establish a social district. The social district boundary shall run concurrently with the downtown overlay district. Alcoholic beverages may be possessed and consumed in the social district only during the days and hours established by resolution and consistent with North Carolina law. We have some definitions here for a permittee and a designated container, some signage for the social district requirements. It must have clearly delineated signage, including boundaries, hours of operation, contact number for law enforcement, and the North Carolina ALE. Statement that alcoholic beverages must be consumed within the district and disposed of before exiting. Only ABC permittees located in the social district may sell alcoholic beverages for consumption within the district. Participating businesses must register with the town and display appropriate decals. Alcoholic beverages must be purchased from participating permittees and served in designated containers. Patrons may only possess and consume alcoholic beverages within social district boundaries and during approved hours. A person must dispose of any alcoholic beverage before exiting the district unless entering a participating business that accepts social district containers. Limits on number of drinks in possession shall follow North Carolina requirements, not more than 2 beer or wine drinks, or more than 1 liquor drink at a time. Businesses that do not wish to participate may opt out and shall display town-approved signage indicating non-participation. Special events may participate if approved by the North Carolina ABC Commission and the town and comply with the social district container and carry rules. Violations of social district rules shall be enforceable by local law enforcement and ALE under applicable North Carolina laws and town code provisions. Open container violations outside of the social district remain unlawful. Any questions? All right. Almost there. Last one, vacant buildings. Owner identification data. So owners of vacant buildings must provide full 24-hour contact information, and if the owner lives more than 30 miles outside of the town limits, full contact information for their local representative. Owners must provide the insurance company name and account number for liability insurance on the vacant building in the amount of $1 million. Owners must provide the date the building was vacated and the projected occupancy date. Owners must certify that the following steps have been taken to ensure that the building appear occupied unless under active renovation. The storefront windows have active, attractive displays. Outdoor lighting is the same as when the building was last occupied. Awnings are in good repair. Old signs have been removed. And the building is free from broken windows, broken doors, and boarding. Vacant building registration fees. The initial registration fee is $500. The first annual re-registration is $1,000. Further re-registrations will be considered on a case-by-case basis by the Downtown Overlay District Board. The penalty for failure to register a vacant building within a timely manner will result in a $500 penalty, which reaccrues every 10 days. If the registration fee or penalty fee is not paid during the appropriate time, the owner shall be in violation of the ordinance, and a lien can be assessed against the property. Within 10 days of the citation, any aggrieved person may appeal to the Board of Adjustment, which will hear the case at their next scheduled meeting. Any person aggrieved by a final decision issued by the Board of Adjustment may seek relief in any court of competent jurisdiction as provided by law. Exceptions from registration fee of vacant buildings. The building has fire damage. The owner has 120 days to repair or demolish the building or register the building as vacant and pay the fee. The building is actively for sale or lease for a maximum period of 2 years. The owner must provide proof of the building being actively and continuously marketed, and the building's price for lease or purchase must be no more than 25% over its market rate as verified by a licensed appraiser. Or the property is under an active renovation process, which includes an active building permit.
So just for definition purposes, because I know I've gotten into this with non-conforming uses, vacant is based on occupancy or based on connection of utilities?
I thought it was, connection of utilities.
That's why I'm asking.
I would consider it based on occupancy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not like, not like a non-conforming, because on non-conforming, we base it off of utilities.
Yes, kind of. The,
I'm just, because I'm.
so the ordinance does say that you can disprove a nonconformity by the disconnection of utilities, but it does not prove that connection of utilities keeps a nonconformity, according to our ordinance.
I would just like to have I want clear clarification on what we're gonna consider vacant if this is approved, and how many current owners downtown have buildings that are not occupied that we're gonna all of a sudden consider vacant,
So any currently vacant buildings would be considered existing
regardless on
nonconformity.
whether they are currently receiving utilities at the
That's correct.
expense of the owner.
That is correct. But that nonconformity, that grandfathered in, does end whenever the vacant building is occupied, and then would conform to these following rules at any point if the building became vacant after that.
So that also, the buildings that's already boarded up that maybe don't have a roof on it or whatever, they're grandfathered?
And that is correct.
Okay.
Okay. So we're not, if we approve this, we're not gonna go around and start sending $500 bills out the next day to existing.
That is correct.
Okay.
The intention of this is there are a lot of businesses that do want to come to historic downtown areas, but they want to protect their investment. Having an ordinance, an overlay like this in place gives them peace of mind, that if they come in, their neighbor leaves, they have provisions like this to protect those.
I noticed that on the map wasn't in here, so if you could.
It's not?
No, it's not in here. So I noticed on the map in there that is there a reason we stopped there and didn't include the retail spaces beyond there?
So it is easier to add more space to an overlay district than it is to take away. So North Carolina General Statute may not look favorably on taking away an overlay district and maybe see it as a taking. It might be something that, generally it's easier to add more space in the future than it is to take it away. So the thought from the planning board was to start with a concentrated space that they very clearly felt embodied the character of what is downtown Benson, and this is what you see being proposed here.
I'm just asking because I've heard rumors of permits for other venues outside of that toward 95, and if that's true, would we not want to consider adding that to the downtown overlay? And maybe we can have a conversation about that later.
Okay.
But I just wonder why we chose to stop at that street instead of running all the way to 95, to the bridge, and including those other retail spaces.
Oh, I see. I think, so generally speaking, I think this is what, most people driving through a town's historic district would be this portion
Okay.
of Main Street, and then, kind of
But this isn't, that map outline is not approved by the state as far as any ABC board or anything like that. We as the board control those lines.
If you were to approve this downtown overlay district as proposed, we would move forward with contacting the North Carolina ABC Commission and ALE to concurrently run the social district with the same boundary that you see here.
Okay, all right. Can you email that to me? That way my old eyes can blow it up.
Yeah, sure. I'm so sorry it wasn't included in the staff report.
That takes out the old clock place at the church down.
I told you today, you can't say the old clock. I'm not that old. You got to give me like addresses. Give me a block number, or give me something other than, I have no idea where the old clock place is. Where's the old clock place?
I am old.
I'm not, I'm just saying.
I don't have to take this from
I love you. Where's the old clock?
Any questions?
Parish Drive
Oh.
on the
You got
left,
it.
95 on the left, last building on the left.
Yeah, that's good, I guess.
No, it doesn't go that far.
Yeah, I know it does.
This stops right on the other side of the grove, if my eyes are correct. Is that right?
Yeah, but that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This is Lee Street right here, so
You're talking about extending it.
I'm just wondering why we stopped there when there's other retailers that are business district beyond that, between that drawn line on Lee Street and 95, and other potential restaurants and vendors that maybe want to be a part of this social
So
district.
that takes it right to Dunn Street and stops.
Lee Street.
Lee Street. That's Parish Drive to Church Street on Lee Street, right? So the grind would not be included in this. If there was something that was being put beside the grind, that would not be included in this. The Mexican restaurant, what's the name of it? Fiesta would not be included in this.
You're not this old, but the old GI property that you.
I do know the GI property, but that's not
in
included
the
either, because it's on this side of Parish. It's south of Parish on that.
This is a very small core, and this is the vision of the planning board, very small core, heart of downtown overlay district here.
Yeah, I don't consider McDonald's, all that stuff to be downtown. I mean, if you're looking at it like that.
I think that was the vision of the planning board. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any questions?
But if we wanted to extend it for a business in the future, this board would be able to do that, and then we would just resubmit the map for approval, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, good deal. Thanks. Last but not least, Ray Adams.
Actually, tonight, I'm Jay Murray. Nice to meet you. No, I'm filling in for Jay. He's on vacation, out of state, actually. We got some resolutions that he said needed to be presented tonight at our staff meeting. I offered to do them for him because some of them are pertaining to the things that I'm responsible for. So, do I just read the resolution? Just explain it? Okay, well, I got the cheat sheet on the back from Jay. Okay, this resolution combines EDA grant funds of $3.2 million with the state appropriated funds of $6,741,015. The EDA monies was removed from the Mingo Interceptor project and moved to the elevated storage tank project to cover the addition of the water line for Vulcan. So it was moved for that.
But that's part of the request that we put in with Senator. Are we getting that from Senator Burr, or is that, or, but,
I think that is separate, and that's something that I have to get back with you on.
okay, all right, fair enough, okay.
And this is one way to make sure that we can fund it and get it going.
Okay, all right.
So, the town board does hereby accept the 2023 Appropriations Act directed projects grant offer of $6,741,015. That's what we're asking.
We need a motion saying that. We need a motion.
Needed a motion to approve resolution 283, 2026.
Can we go through a couple more, because I got a question that
Sure.
might come back. Can we go through them and then come back to them?
Absolutely, yeah.
Is that okay with the board?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
all right.
Resolution 284, 2026, acceptance of the Wooten, wait a minute. Hey, let me skip to 285, because it'll make a little more sense if we jump ahead one. All right, Resolution 285, 2026, acceptance of Benson Water System Asset Inventory Grant. This resolution is for the acceptance of grant ID AIA DVUR 0035 for the Benson Water System Asset and Inventory. The amount of the grant is $180,000. No town money is required. This is the grant for our water system asset inventory and assessment. We're going to assess every asset and component in the water system and give us a condition. They're going to do a survey and give us a report on their conditions. And we can use that to, as part of our capital improvements.
And this has to be done how many years, Ray?
There's not really a mandatory date for it, but as your operator, you know, the last one that we had was in 2023, and I know some of our infrastructure has changed. The hydraulics have changed, the way we're growing. I thought it was time for another one. I've been pushing for this for a while. And we were fortunate enough to get the grant from the state to get it done.
It's a must that we have it, but enlighten us what it handles. Why are we doing it? So we can,
Is it dealing with the lead water lines, lead in the water lines?
It can, that's really,
Because I know that was talked about.
that will be in the updated asset inventory, it will for sure. But we've had our eye on that one, you know, for a while anyway. It's, there's grant funds for that separately. You know, so we're gonna replace those anyway, but it will be in the report, those lead service lines, and they'll make a recommendation to replace them, which we already know. We're already working on doing that. But it will tell us a lot of things that we don't know. We've got over 500 valves out there. A lot of them are very old. They'll bring in a team and assess every one of them. They'll see if they work. If they're broke, they'll make a list. We'll put that on our asset management plan.
So this is what you're gonna use to help build a capital improvement plan based
It,
on your
it,
water
it will.
system for the
It
next.
can serve a lot of purposes. And probably the most important one is it's a tool that's used to update your system development fees.
Okay.
One of the tools.
It's one of the, okay, when we're talking about, okay.
In addition, we're on the DQ or whoever viable utility list. And in order to access, I'm sorry, we're on the viable utility list. And in order to access any of that money, you have to have an updated AIA. So this grant will help us to get that AIA done in order to apply for other grants.
that's what I was kinda asking
Yeah,
Ray around my elbow.
yeah, it helps in a lot of ways. Thank you, Ms. Sharon.
But to date, so far, those two resolutions, and the third one we're fixing to talk about too, they are 100% grant funded, no town or Benson funds.
100%.
Okay,
No out-of-pocket money at all for us,
okay,
which is awesome.
right.
And so we'll jump to resolution 284. Well, now I've confused myself.
That's right, 284.
Yeah, that's right, we jumped ahead one. So through the procurement process, we requested, requests for proposals,
and we awarded the Wooten Company, was the winning bid.
They
So,
fell in under budget. They fell in at the $180,000 mark.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, this resolution is just saying that we have selected them through our legal procurement process,
Okay.
to do it for us. They've done it for us before, so it's, you know, they're already pretty familiar with our system. In fact, we just got the ISO report back from them Friday, Friday. The end of last week, we got the ISO report, which is all of our hydrant flows and static and residual pressures for all, well, most of our hydrants. Had a chance to review it today, and there's a few missing, but it's not gonna be a problem. I just tell them which ones are missing, they'll run it in the model, and it'll spit out the numbers, and we just add it to the map. Yeah, this resolution is just to officially say that we've selected Wooten. Resolution 286, 2026, appropriations, acceptance of 2023 Appropriations Act directed project grant, Mingo Interceptor Project. This resolution is combining the USDA grant and loan with the SRP, AKA 16 million funding. This is for clarification and wording. From my understanding, and this would be a J question, but I did ask some questions that I thought you may ask. He says that USDA had some, we just had to clarify it a different way in the wording to receive the funding. So this is all this is. It's just a resolution where he has moved some things around in order for USDA to approve it. That's really all it is.
This is where my question comes up, because in the first resolution was 283, and you said, if I'm not mistaken, that we took money out of the Mingo Interceptor project and moved it to the water tank project, and now we're borrowing money from USDA to complete the Mingo project.
And that's exactly, I caught that too.
Okay, so that's my question.
And I asked Jay about that. And
Okay.
I said, they're definitely gonna ask me about that loan.
That's
And
because we,
Mingo was originally gonna be, it was gonna be part EDA grant, part USDA.
but we had to turn it down because we didn't meet the deadline and got back with them.
Right, okay. So our budget's, that's just, our budget is prepared to handle this 40-year term loan that I know it's interest rate's minute at 1.5%, but our budget, will be prepared to be able to handle that loan payment for the next 40 years?
Darren's like, she's like, I ain't gonna be here next 40 years.
Well, I'm just, the next 2 years. I'm just saying, because we're borrowing money and we're gonna be expected to pay it back.
And we'll have to go through the LGC on this as well.
I mean, what kind of
I
payment?
asked Jay that question, and he seems to think there won't be any issue with that. I don't know if he spoke with him there, but I asked the same question. If you prefer to table this one, we will.
I'm just trying to figure out, I didn't do the math, but I'm trying to figure out what that loan payment's gonna be
That-
every year, where that's gonna hit our budget every
Don't have
year.
any documentation or any.
We don't have any.
I had the same concern.
Okay.
I'm sure Jay would explain it a lot better than I am.
So there's no deadline on this or anything, so if we were to approve 284 and 285, which is the grant money for the 180 for the AAI study, and approve that Wooten contract, that wouldn't affect this loan, and we could potentially, if the board chooses, table that until we could look at the numbers and see how that's gonna hit our budget, and when that loan payment becomes, when it starts. Does it start at project, or with project completion, or we don't know any of that, right? Okay.
You want to do that?
Yeah, I think we're gonna need to, because the AIA project needs to be going on, because we're already behind the gun on some of the new construction coming in that we have to use our old fees for, because this study has to be done before we can up any fees as far as, the work, right?
System development fees.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Now, this AI, because we all met, I think some of us met prior to the budget and fee schedule, will this AI assist with the current rate structure for our utility rates? Is this part of that study, or is that another study that we're gonna look into? That's another study.
Well,
Okay, all right.
But you have to have the AIA to get the other study, right?
It
to
makes the
get-
other study more valuable. It gives us the most up-to-date, practical information.
gives you a better overall picture of your system and what you need.
They'll be
Okay,
able to
what
tell us
works
better
the
what the
fastest?
cars, if they know what our system is there.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
okay.
that's exactly right.
Okay. I'm comfortable, I'm comfortable making the motion to approve resolution 284 and 285, if the mayor will entertain it, to accept the AI grant of $180,000 and accept the 284, which is the acceptance of the Wooten's company to do that work at $180,000. So I'll make that motion, Mayor, if you'll consider it.
How about what are we holding,
You're not gonna table
the
the other two?
283?
We're gonna hold the 283. I would prefer that
You mean-
we hold the 283 and the 286 until we figure out, A, why we're moving money from one project to another project, and then borrowing money, and we don't
I
know
can-
what that payment's
I can
gonna be.
explain 283. That's why I offered to make the presentation tonight.
283 is very important.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, sir.
all right, okay.
That's the one where we move money away from Mingo to the elevated storage tank, to add the, updated water line for Vulcan. We're putting that under the elevated storage tank umbrella.
But the water line, the water line for Vulcan is supposed to come from federal funds.
It is, but like we said,
So is that money, if we receive it, gonna go back into the Mingo project, or where's that money gonna go if we receive those federal funds that?
There's two portions of water line that I think you're discussing.
Okay.
If-
The first one is the one that Jay, sorry, you said you're Jay, so you're Jay. That Ray is talking about.
So this is not the water line that we went and asked for federal funding for?
It is, but there are new developments on that water line that are also being facilitated with the Atlantis and Brad Mountain.
Okay.
that's one that well, I don't wanna push you at all.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just asking questions because there's a lot of different numbers that are moving around right here and a lot
right.
of funding sources, and I wanna make sure that I've got a clear picture of what's coming from and where it's going.
Right, and you're exactly right. I know that,
And where it's going back
that,
to.
that
if
we,
get
I
funding.
know that, some of our previous management was trying to get some funding for that. You're exactly right, but that's the extent of my knowledge of that. And, I mean, there doesn't seem to be any records left of that, and we know that we need this water line,
Right, okay,
so we've got to get moving on it.
okay, all right.
Now,
Now, I would assume that I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
will Jay be back next Thursday?
Yes, sir, he'll
Not
be
this
back
Thursday, but next Thursday.
20th,
And-
right? I'm pretty sure he said the 20th. Yes, sir.
Okay, if there's a little hiccup and that's what we're waiting on, can we wait till Thursday week for him to come back and? Can he
Absolutely.
enlighten us any, or is this further than that? We're waiting on something.
Jay is the subject matter expert.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just saying, is a week gonna cost us that much if we go to Electus and go back? Because Electus was there when me and you met with the senator from Washington, and he said that he was pretty confident we were gonna get money for that, for whatever portion of whatever water line, right? And I mean, I would just like to know that if that money comes in, and this is the same water line, where is that money gonna reimburse? And I'd also like to know from our finance director, how much that loan payment is gonna be, when it's gonna start, and where is that gonna hit our budget? Is that gonna hit our budget at the same time that the Vulcan tax money starts rolling in, or are we gonna end up with a
I'll
horse
look into
before the
that
cart?
and get that information. If the If the first part is pressing that we need to resolve it before Thursday, I will let you know,
Okay.
So I guess we're going to ask for 284 and 285.
And I've got a motion on the floor to approve those.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Opposed? 284 and 85 carry, and we're going to table 23, 26. Do we need a motion for that?
I make a motion that we table resolutions 283, 2026, and 286, 2026 until the meeting next Thursday, whatever date that is. July the 23rd, until Jay and our finance director can get us some more information.
Yeah, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, table carries.
Did you have some questions, Mr. Chandler, earlier?
No, you answered my question.
Okay.
Because what I was asking you is the fees schedule as far as doing anything with them. And you told me until this is, until the AIA and the others are presented, we couldn't do anything. No matter what we had coming in, they fall under our old fees.
Yeah, we don't want to, I think they frown upon too many SDF updates. So we're at the 3-year mark now. If we wait till these 2 AIAs are complete, we'll be at about the 4-year mark. And that would look a lot better and capture bigger picture.
This just includes the AI of the water system, though. Is there
Right.
anything being done with the sewer system?
We just missed the deadline, for applying for the, sewer system AIA, so we're planning to do that in the fall.
Okay.
Wooten's already aware of it, and we're ready to go as soon as,
And one of those, if we can get that grant and we can get that approved, then we can have an AII on both water and sewer, so we can change those SDFs.
exactly right. And, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about our chances for getting that one.
Okay.
Knock on wood. Okay.
Thanks for all you're doing.
Thanks. Okay, good deal.
Thank you, Ray.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, man.
Town manager report.
All right, I just want to say thank you to all of our staff, especially those of you who gave presentations tonight. Great job. And I wanted to give a special shout out to Scott during our department head meeting. He gave us a nice presentation on leadership, and it fostered a good conversation between our department heads, and I think that was really thoughtful and nicely done. So thank you for that. But otherwise, that's it.
All right.
I don't really have anything, just condolences for Miss Solly's family again, of course, but, thanks to Tanner and, all the staff, it's a good meeting, lots getting done, and we've been here 2 hours, but a lot's getting accomplished. Just an observation.
And Matt.
Been a good, exciting meeting. Appreciate everybody coming and participating, working together.
Just, keep, Miss Holly's family in your thoughts and your prayers.
No, just condolences to the Holly family, Peacock family, and thank the staff and everyone that has, helped to make her services, great this weekend.
Bill.
Same here, I'm just wondering if, anybody is, I know what I've got to do Friday and Saturday, what I've been asked to do. Is this board going to try to sit as a group, as far as Saturday? I don't know who makes that decision or who even asks.
I don't know, but I can certainly find out.
I think I am a pallbearer along with 7 more. So,
Great.
anyway, and I am also interested in, I keep getting the Electric Cities Conference coming up. I've seen no prices. I am not planning on going out of state to the Electric City Conference. I think it's really gonna be high, but I was just wondering I hadn't received anything from this office.
I had,
As far as.
with previous management, out of my funds, I had already secured a hotel room for myself, but I have canceled that since, so I'm not planning on going either, but I was planning on going, and so, and at my expense, obviously, but we're not doing that now. I'm not doing that now.
Okay, well, does anybody have any, fees as far as what they put out there, as far as hotel rooms and the,
Hang on, I'll tell you what it cost me.
and the registration?
The registration is normally covered by electric cities, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was just the hotel room. We could call Jennings and ask him, but I think he covered the registration, or was offering to cover the real estate. Give me 1 second.
So where is it this year?
It's at the Omni in Hot Springs, Virginia. I was set to check in on the 16th and check out on the 19th. I put a round of golf in mine as well, because I was going to play golf one day while I was down there. The grand total when I bought it was $1,625.85 for the hotel room.
Is that the Greenbrier or Homestead?
Greenbrier, yeah.
Yeah. It's the Homestead, Omni Homestead. Yes, Omni Homestead Resort and Spa. So for me to go with 2 adults, I was taking my wife, when I confirmed the hotel, I was paying $1,625.85. And so, but I'm not going now, because I don't know if anybody from management or anybody else that's going, so.
I thought we always had to pay registration, but.
I think, if I'm not, I can call Jennings with Electric Cities, but we talked about this when we were in Charlotte with Electric Cities, when we were at the retailers. And, I'm pretty sure that Jennings offered to pay for our registration for the Electric Cities. But the,
For 1, 2, or the board?
I don't know the answer to that question. So but I feel like, I mean, he told me to go, he told me they were filling up fast. If I wanted to go, they would cover registration and then I would cover the hotel. But with everything that's happened,
Yeah.
I'm not going by myself. And so I canceled my hotel
Okay.
about a month ago.
William, anything else?
Just condolences, obviously, for Commissioner Holly and her family. She's definitely gonna be missed on the board. Again, I've already said it to Tim, but all the staff that helped out with the July 4th celebration, I really appreciate it. I know there were some mixed reviews. Any of those that would like to donate with the other donators that paid for it to make it bigger and better, we will always take donations as a town to do events like that, and that's all I've got.
So I got 2 things. Hope, I'm winging this itinerary, but I think Maxine's gonna lie in state upstairs in the hall, I guess from 5 to 7 or 4 to 7 on Friday. And then her funeral's at 11 on Saturday in the auditorium. Now, we hope that, I guess I don't know if we have a motion for this, but maybe to approve the closing of the town hall for all non-essential workers at 1 o'clock on Friday.
So, yeah, so I'm wondering, I wonder if it would just be, town-wide though, just to just be fair, what do y'all think? And in her memory.
That'd be fine. So do we need a motion to that?
Do we need a motion on?
I think it's just.
It's more of just a blessing, yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be a good measure
Yeah.
to take a motion.
So we
I
know
don't think
what-
you necessarily need.
I'm perfectly
I
fine
make
with.
a motion to close all town-owned facilities on Friday, July the 17th, starting at 1 o'clock, in remembrance of Commissioner Maxine Holly.
Okay, motion on the floor, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries, that's great. Second thing is, that I have is, reserve fund policy that we're gonna bring forward next time, right? Yeah, we need to do that. I think it's important, because we need to make sure that it's hard for us to take this money, just like the new truck and all this stuff. We need all that stuff. I know we need it, but we're gonna have to make sure we gotta put reserve fund ahead of that. in my opinion. So, anyway, so, I guess we'll send it out to you. You'll read the policy before we do anything about it next week. So, anyway, that's it. I ain't got nothing else. No. Can I hear a motion to go in closed session?
I make a motion that we go into closed session under General Statute 143.318.11A6.
Closed session.
Tanner,
In 5 minutes.
are you going to take, are you gonna let somebody know to go ahead and post signs that the town will be closing